YouTube, man, what's good with y'all, man? Welcome back to another CEO video, man. Welcome back to another creatively optimistic video, man. Don't be judging over here. We just be doing CEO business, CEO stuff, man. All 2024, man, we grinding. Listen, this part 2 of the Jesus Was an Alien interview, man. Without further ado, man, let's get into the video, man. Why am I lagging?
The second return is when we all reach a level of Christ consciousness. That's when Jesus comes back. He comes back in our minds, not in a physical form.
Got my C's
and
again,
for people
man.
to take his words and skew it around to make it okay for slavery, I think that's a big thing where we see now the injection of human minds, not the creator of the universe. So you have to be discerning with the biblical text.
Who is Jesus to you? In your eyes, who is Jesus?
His name is Yeshua, okay? Jesus is, first the J is a recent letter. The J is not that old. So it really was originally Isus, and that name Isus means Hail Zeus, okay? So you're calling on Zeus when you say Jesus, one of the Sumerian people who converted over to the Greek gods. But his name is Yeshua, and so Yeshua to me, very powerful person, very spiritual, high level of knowledge, a student of the Egyptian mysteries. When Jesus disappears from the Bible, he actually ends up in Egypt, okay?
So Jesus was a real person, people. He's real.
You find this information in a book that was kept out of the biblical text called the Gospel of the Holy 12. And in the Gospel of the Holy 12, he shows up in Egypt. And we know that's a fact because I take people on tour every year to Egypt, and I take them to the house that Jesus lived in. It's a crypt. It's actually worship. People come there to see that bed that he laid in every single year when I take.
How do we know it's his bed? Is his DNA on it?
We take him straight there. And we know the path that he traveled throughout Egypt because it's a huge sign outside that Coptic church where he lived that shows where he went. Now, when he was in Egypt, what did he go there for? To learn the Egyptian mysteries. Who taught the Egyptian mysteries? Thoth, the Atlantean priest king, the person I wrote this book about. And so Thoth was the teacher of the Egyptian mysteries, or the ancient mysteries, of what it was called.
Boy, this dude.
And then he leaves there, and
This is Thoth right here. This nigga gonna come back and get you for exposing that nigga. No cap.
goes to Tibet to learn Qigong and Reiki healing, which was confirmed by the Dalai Lama. And then he heads down into India to learn the mystic arts, teaching reincarnation all the way back. Then the Bible picks him up at the age of 32. I call my son out of Egypt. He shows up on the back of a donkey, proclaims himself to be the Messiah. So
it lines up with the Bible, bro.
Big story. I think that he had a big message. I don't think people were able to grasp it at the time. But his message was that not that he was coming back, but that the Christ would return, the Christ consciousness.
Where did you get this information? What book did you read that said this? Because this isn't, you didn't come up with this. You read this from somewhere. What did you read that told you this?
The Gospel of the Holy 12.
The Gospel of the Holy 12.
I've never heard of that in my life. No preacher has ever said this in their life. No sermon, no Bible study, no mastermind has ever said anything like that. The Gospel of the Holy 12? What?
Another apocrypha text that was, kept out of the canonized Bible.
Got it. And that's what you learned from this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you, there's a lot of people that, smart people, mathematicians, a lot of skeptics that are out there as well. How many people agree with what you have to say? How many people agree with this?
Well, I got 8 million people following my accounts across all platforms. I don't know.
So I'm not talking about that part. Of course, when you're talking with this level of firmness, there's a lot of, that's why I'm curious. I'm curious to know, how you come up with your beliefs.
Yeah.
But why is it, if that's what you believe in, more people don't believe in that? Why do you think such a small sect?
When you're born, you're given a name, a race, and a religion,
right,
and you spend the rest of your life defending a false identity. You don't know who you are. I don't know who I am. You were given your name. I was given my name. Who's Billy Carson? I didn't come up with that name. Somebody gave me that name. And then somebody said, get on your knees and pray before you go to bed. Say the Lord's Prayer before you go to bed. And so I got on my knees and I said the Lord's Prayer, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, But then when you trace back that Lord's Prayer, whose prayer is that? That's the prayer of Ptah. Who's Ptah? Ea Enki from the Sumerian tablets. He wrote that prayer in ancient cuneiform, which then made it all the way into the Bible. And you think you're praying to God, you're saying the prayer of Ptah. So we've been brainwashed. We've been programmed because for generations, we keep getting handed down this system.
It's like the Bible isn't 100% proof that what they said happened. What he's saying in the Emerald Tablets isn't 100% proof, and that happened. But what if the Bible did happen? Pretty good story, pretty good news, right? Good news, right? What if this is real? This counters everything.
Where we're given this false creation of who we are and we believe it wholeheartedly, we'll fight for it to the absolute death. People will die over those things that were given to them, not that they came up with on their own initially or originally. So it's a dangerous thing because we have a lot of people walking around that just took the programming code and they don't even understand really who they are, what they're all about. That's why so many people don't walk in their passion. So many people don't even know what their passion is because they've been given and told what their passion is going to be, and they have no clue how to find out who they really truly are or what they would love to be involved in or what their passion truly is. So we have a lot of NPCs walking around, non-players out here.
Keyword, a lot, not everyone. See, in these conversations, you have to be at a certain level of understanding already, so that way he doesn't have to pause and let people know that I'm not talking about everyone, just majority.
Walking around, have no clue, just programs in the matrix. But then you have a few of us that have discovered who we are, that are working on trying to go to inner space instead of outer space, dig deep within ourselves, learn how to walk in our power, find out what our passion is, maximize that, and access that power and spread that power throughout the world.
Would you say your parents were Christians?
They were quasi-Christians. So they didn't go to church, but my dad would make me do book reports on the Bible from the time I was a little kid. My mother would make me say the prayers, So that in that way, they were Christians.
When did you stop?
I stopped probably, I say, maybe around 12 or 13. I realized something was too much. There was too much contradiction in the text. Because remember, I'm doing book reports on the biblical text. And when I got to the point where God said, I create the good and I create the evil, do what I say at the Lord. That's in Isaiah. Then I realized something was really off here because I realized through my studies that God had killed over 3 million people in the Bible, and Satan didn't kill anybody. So I said, wait a minute, something's a little off here. He's killing everybody, and Satan didn't kill anybody. And so we have to really take a look. And the deeper I dug into Deuteronomy, then I realized there's something wrong. What it was at that moment, I couldn't figure out, but I just knew something was a little off. I dabbled in it again later on to see maybe if there was something that I missed. And again, later on in my life, in my late 20s, I said, just doesn't make any sense. There's too many question marks.
That's where I'm at this point.
You ask a question, they say, don't question God, don't question the Lord, blind faith. And I'm thinking, if I'm going to put all of my eternity into one book, if I'm saying this one book is going to lead me to eternity, and I don't know everything about it, every aspect about it, I can't question.
I'm sorry, y'all, man. I should have got a napkin, bro.
And I can't dig deeper to get more knowledge out of it, then I think there's something wrong with that. I think there's something being hidden from me. And I'd rather be able to dig deeper, get more knowledge, get more understanding versus people shunning me away from trying to dig deeper to get more answers. And I think that's a big problem.
Why am I so lonely?
And I think the people that are shunning away and stopping you from getting those answers don't have the answers themselves.
When you went through this journey that you're going through, are your parents seeing you go through the self-actualization where you're having your own philosophies? Are they watching you, witnessing you going through this?
Oh, yeah.
So how old were you when they're watching this?
Pretty much from 7 all the way up. They gradually saw me changing. When I was 7 years old, I realized one thing. This is what's changed my whole life. My friends kept going to the ice cream truck. They had money every day, even though we were in the ghetto, poor, broke. We had nothing. We were getting money donated to us from local church and other people in the neighborhood. And we were taking showers outside in the backyard because we didn't have water on. We'd plug the hose into our neighbor's house. And I'm saying, how in the hell can they afford the ice cream truck every single day? So I go outside and I say to myself, there's got to be something I can do. I said, I'm going to go inside and get all my toys. I put all my toys in an old Winn-Dixie milk crate, and I went door to door. I violated my mom's rules about leaving the circumference of the
vicinity,
house. Yeah. And I went door to door around the whole block. I squared
boy, that's a cutting for that boy
block and asked for donations in exchange for my toys. And so I sold all my toys that day, and I ended up with like $13 and change. And I went to the ice cream truck, and I got my bazooka bubble gum with my comic strip inside of it, and I realized something. I said, wow, I'm going to save myself. There's nobody coming to save me. I am my own savior. And that changed my life forever. And that same
7 years old?
7 years old. My mom saw me standing in the picture window of the house we were renting, and I had a couple of dollars in my hand. She said, "What's wrong, son?" I said, "I don't belong here. I'm getting out."
I don't belong, meaning in the community, in the ghetto that you're talking about?
Right.
Who hurt you at that age?
Nobody hurt me. It was tough moving there because coming from New York to Miami, my accent was a New York accent. Their accent was a Southern drawl. I didn't understand what they were saying. They couldn't understand what I was saying, so they thought I was being quote unquote bougie. Had to fight a lot. And initially, then I started making friends later, but I had to prove myself that I could fight.
Right.
It was just rough, man. Growing up, eating toast and Cairo syrup, if that was like a good lunch, begging neighbors for food, stealing fruits from trees in the neighborhood to have food in your stomach. It was rough, man. Holes in my shoes. We put cardboard inside the shoes to keep our feet from touching the street. It was pretty tough. I had 2 pairs of pants. I would bleach them, and then I would dye them with the rich dye because that way I wouldn't get picked on in school for not having any pants. So I would change the colors every few days to make it look like I had a lot of pants. And in my shirt, I had one LaCroix Sportif alligator. I would unstitch it and restitch it over the Bobo shirts just to make it look like I had some kind of style to keep the people from picking on me. But it got me through. It got me through the school.
Your parents, do you have any resentment towards them?
Not really. Looking back now, I realize they did the best that they could do. My father was a drug addict and alcoholic, but understanding now mental health, I understand that he was severely depressed. His father walked out when he was a little kid, said he was going to get a pack of cigarettes, never came back. And his mom died when he was only 16, and that just took him over the edge. So his whole thing was trying to cover and mask his pain. I get it now. I'm older now. I can see what the cause of his illness was, and it was an illness. And my mom, she went through some things in her own household that I found out just maybe about 3 or 4 years ago with one of the people in my family, one of the men in my family, raping a lot of women in my family on her side. So she went through a lot of
It's wicked, boy. It's wicked in the family tree, boy.
mental trauma. So you had 2 people that dealing with severe trauma that were in a relationship together and just trying to hold on to whatever they can. And their only ability to generate money was hustling something here and there, or selling newspapers, or just delivering newspapers at night, or cleaning bathrooms at like the Shula Resort, which I used to have to go to in the middle of the night sometime and help them clean.
Is your dad still around?
No, he's gone.
Neither one of them are around.
Yeah.
How old were you when they passed away?
My dad died 5 years ago. So he, unfortunately, he was at Melbourne, Palm Bay, Florida, at an outdoor concert amphitheater, and somebody called 911 and said that this guy was harassing people in the front row. A drunk guy was harassing people in the front row, a vagrant. But he was just invited there. He was literally invited by a person in the van. Somebody wanted to get the front seat. Somehow I found out they couldn't get the front row, and the cops came and beat him and broke his back and gave him a double concussion.
El Cops.
Subsequently, he died from his injuries later on.
Pretty quickly, or?
No, he suffered for about a year.
Okay, got it. So 6 years ago is when that happened. 5 years ago when he passed away. How about your mom?
My mom died she died in 2011.
Got it. So about 13 years ago when she passed.
Died from Lou Gehrig's disease.
Would you say you had a good relationship with your mom at the end?
Yeah, at the end, I wouldn't say at the end a great relationship in terms of seeing her all the time, because she lived up in Melbourne and I lived down in Fort Lauderdale area. I would see her as much as I possibly could, but I got to see her before, when she was getting really sick. I got to see her, and talk to her.
Am I off base to say that you didn't have the most loving relationship with your parents, where parents, we love them, but sometimes some people don't like them and they don't want to be around them? Were they 2 of your favorite people to be around, or not necessarily? You kind of wanted to stand on your own ground and do your own thing?
It wasn't, well, my father was, you got to get away because, this guy was, I loved him to death, man, but boy, he was a trip. But my mom, she, I just couldn't understand. She did the best, I can see now she did the best she could, but I couldn't be around her too much because if he's around, it's going to be a problem.
They were still together till the end?
All the way to the end. Even though he would leave for 3-4 months and come back, he'd be sleeping in the streets. He'd be like a bum that had a house. It was pretty incredible. And the house that we lived in, that we finally got out of the ghetto, I'm the one.
That's a hustler, nigga. That's a certified G, nigga.
got them that house. I entered a HUD drawing at the local library. I filled all my dad's information on HUD documents when I was in the 7th grade, walking home from school. And we won the $30,000 from HUD to put down on the house. Is how we got from the ghetto into Miami, New Orleans area.
Interesting. And your best friend, if you were to say 3 best friends of yours, how long have you had the relationship with them?
Oh, I've got some friends all the way from, we moved around a lot, but by the time we got to Miami, New Orleans, I got friends from Miami, New Orleans from 7th grade till today.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So let me go back to something you said. You said, when I read the Bible, Deuteronomy, you went to multiple different books in the Bible, right? And you said, what I'm noticing here is, God.
Yeah, get back to the Bible, nigga.
Killed 3 million, but the devil, I don't hear anything about the devil. What did you mean by that?
Well, what I'm saying is, you have to understand that a lot of the orders for death, including Sodom.
Yeah, what you mean by that?
More are being created or being ordered by God himself, if it is even a him. I don't believe it's a gender at all. But this is why I'm saying these people, the person that's being considered to be God in the Bible, I don't think is an actual creator of the universe. I think we're mistaking the creator of the universe for a person, for people, different people that exist within that text that have been masquerading as gods, according to the ancient tablets. They came here, they engaged mankind. If you read the book of Enoch, you discover like the angel Azazel comes down, right? He comes from the sky down to earth. The first thing he teaches us is how to make weapons. Let me show you how to smoke this steel and make this sword that can cut through anything. Let me show you how to make a breastplate. Let me show you how to make a shield so that you can repel a blade and all these kind of things. And then he even goes out and helps humans kill people. So
we got to read the book of Enoch. We're going to read the Emerald Tablets. We're going to read all of this.
These are not.
And I'm going to report to y'all exactly what this is about.
These are not what they call quote unquote angels, in my opinion. These are what people call aliens or advanced. I call them advanced beings because we look a lot like them and they look a lot like us. There is some distinction. They were distinguishable from humans, but they look just like humans in the biblical text. In the Bible, in some texts, they call them the Anak, A-N-A-K, the Anunnaki, the Anak. They say we were grasshoppers in their eyesight. They were big people. And these people came from heaven to earth.
Bro, this is crazy. Imagine that, bro. The Anunnaki, bro. Look at this nigga, bro. What if that was him, nigga? Angels and this is all in the Bible, supposedly, too. So why is it not in the Bible? It's in the Bible, but it's not in the Bible. Make it make sense.
In the Netiru in ancient Egypt, they say the Netiru came down from heaven to earth and turned mud into a kingdom. In the Aboriginal culture, the Aboriginal elder, I've been on walkabouts in the outback. The Aboriginal elders, verbal handed down history for thousands of years. We were seeded on this planet by the Pleiadians. They brought us here. We were the first people here. You go to the Hopi tribe, the Lakota tribe. Our star brothers seeded us on this planet. I mean, we keep slapping our ancient ancestors in the face, doubting their wisdom and doubting their understanding of what really happened, and doubting their drawings that they left behind and their texts they left behind by coming up with their own modern day mainstream.
Bro, this is just so mind blowing. Go back. What did you say?
Earth and turn mud into a kingdom.
Go back some more, brother.
That you can repel a blade and all these kind of things. And then he even goes out and helps humans kill people. So these are not what they call quote unquote angels, in my opinion. These are what people call aliens or advanced. I call them advanced beings because we look a lot like them and they look a lot like us. There is some distinction. They were distinguishable from humans, but they look just like humans in the biblical text. In the Bible, in some texts, they call them the Anak, A-N-A-K, the Anunnaki, the Anak. They say we were grasshoppers in their eyesight. They were big people. And these people came from heaven to earth. And in the Netiru in ancient Egypt, they say the Netiru came down from heaven to earth and turned mud into a kingdom. In the Aboriginal culture.
So this is 2 different colonies that came up out the sky. This is 2 different colonies that done just came up out the sky. And it's in the Bible, but it's not in the Bible.
The Aboriginal elder. I've been on walkabouts in the outback. The Aboriginal elders, verbal handed down history for thousands of years. We were seeded on this planet by the Pleiadians. They brought us here. We were the first people here. You go to the Hopi tribe, the Lakota tribe. Our star brothers seeded us on this planet. I mean, We keep slapping our ancient ancestors in the face, doubting their wisdom and doubting their understanding of what really happened, and doubting their drawings that they left behind and their texts that they left behind by coming up with their own modern-day mainstream.
Imagine that. Imagine writing a tablet millions of years ago, hoping I would see it, and I see it, and I'm like, this is complete garbage. Boy.
Idea of what we think happened when they left the proof and the evidence right for us.
So in your rights, you think Jesus was an alien?
I think Jesus was half human, half alien, and I'll tell you why. When you look
Basically, he was an Anunnaki.
at the Apocrypha text, you discover, first of all, in the regular Bible, you discover he's born of a virgin birth, right? But then in the Apocrypha text, you discover that his grandmother was also born of a virgin birth. So it seems like this establishment of a bloodline there specifically. When you read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, you discover that he talks about he developed the ability to incarnate at will on and in any plane that he desires. That's pretty powerful stuff. He's saying he can come back however he wants and when he wants and in any dimension that he wants. He even
Go back. I'm getting lost
in
in
the regular Bible. You discover he's born of a virgin birth, right? But then in the Apocrypha text, you discover that his grandmother was also born of a virgin birth. So it seems like this establishment of a bloodline there specifically.
I was about to say, it sounds like genetics.
When you read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, you discover that he talks about he developed the ability to incarnate at will on and in any plane that he desires.
On and in any plane? What do you say?
Tablets of Thoth, you discover that he talks about he developed the ability to incarnate at will on and in any plane that he desires. That's pretty powerful stuff. He
developed. So he ain't just, I'm Thoth and I have it. No, he developed it.
He can come back however he wants and when he wants and in any dimension that he wants. He even talks about having rejuvenation chambers, which is what I believe the Serapeum is located in Saqqara in Egypt, is one of his rejuvenation chambers, where they would actually create bodies and put bodies in these gigantic megaton stone boxes made of granite and diorite, which are still radioactive, by the way. You can take your Geiger counter, they're still radioactive. They have an energy source coming out of them. And then he said that I would transfer my consciousness from one body to the next. He would leave another body in there rejuvenating for 100 years, then he'd come back and get it, and he'd do that over and over again. And by that method, he lived through eons. My consciousness.
He would come back and get it?
One body to the next. He would leave another body in there rejuvenating for 100 years, then he'd come back and get it, and he'd do that over and over again. And by that method, he lived through eons.
Wow.
Pretty interesting. So I think maybe they decided to come back through a womb.
Got it. What's your level of certainty on that?
Eons.
He would leave another body in there rejuvenating for 100 years, then he'd come back and get it, and he'd do that over and over again. And by that method, he lived through eons. Pretty interesting. So I think maybe they decided to come back through a womb.
Got it. What's your level of certainty on that?
My level of certainty?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, man. I feel pretty confident in it. You know, and the reason why is because I've just done the work. I've read so much information, and I've been able to put together so many dots. And I think that the average person is saying, wow, sounds outrageous because
it doesn't. It makes sense. It makes logical, chronological 1, 2, 3 sense. That's what kind of sense it's making right now.
Which is what I was taught in school. And all they have is the level of what their parents told them and what the school told them. And the school, we know, robs your identity and it robs your creativity and robs your consciousness. It puts you into a prison mindset. You
sure
just become
does.
an NPC.
Sure does.
And what your parents are giving you is handed down.
100% agree with that. Me having gone through the school system, I feel that way. Most people, if they want to be like, it's certain people like me who feel that way. Not everybody's going to feel that way about school because school is needed to teach things and certain things. But beyond a certain veil, it's like I don't need to be taught. I need to go do my own thing. But at the same time, it's like, what am I going to do out there? I want to do my own thing. What am I going to get a job on, 13, 14? That's what I'm saying. We need to create more programs or something, man.
You know, stuff from generations ago that a lot of the times really is just, you know, old tradition.
I wasn't going to play sports anymore. I can't even hold a 2.0 in this joint. Why can't you hold a 2.0? You're just not dedicated. No, I don't want to do it. It's stupid. I have to go read this whole textbook to go run 100 yards when I could go run 100 yards any day of the week. But in order, you're going to cap me because you want me to be responsible, this, that, and the third. It's a trick. Oh, my gosh.
that really has nothing to do with real science, real knowledge, real investigation. My research and investigation is second to none. I'll stand by my research and investigation against anyone.
Woo!
Like I said, I've gone out there. I put the time and I put the effort in. Am I 100% correct on everything? Probably not, because nobody is.
You can't be. You can't be.
Human beings. But at the same time, my work is pretty strong. My ability to put together circumstantial evidence is very strong. And in America, if you have enough circumstantial evidence, you can convict somebody of a crime. Take that same mindset and put.
I said that at the beginning. I said that. Out
into the field of archaeology, ancient civilizations, quantum physics, science, and anything else, you could begin to build circumstantial evidence. And if you could put enough things together that begin to make sense, people just can't see them because they're so spread out. A lot of the stuff I research is on different timelines. So you might take something from 6000 BC and find something in 1100 AD that connect together. But because people only specialize in 6000 BC, they never get to 1100 AD. That's another specialist. So I'm a person that collects all the data.
Who have you debated?
Whoever did debate.
Have you ever had like a public debate with anybody? Like it's on YouTube, we can see, or no?
Yeah, because if you say yes, that's the next reaction, nigga.
At a public debate, there's only one person that wanted to debate me, but he only wanted to debate me so that he can clout chase. This guy wanted to clout chase me. He's trying to come up.
Is he a big name or no?
Well, he's not a big name. He's trying to become big, but he had.
Dang, Billy, sound like you a hater, Logan.
Up first, I researched him before I disagreed to do it, and found out that he had did some things like he had a sexual abuse on a 19-year-old minor. And I'm like, why would I make a guy like this famous?
Who is this guy? Is it another YouTube?
Don't say his name, Billy. Don't do that, Billy.
Or
yeah, I won't give his name because yeah.
Is he the one that
he just said he wasn't going to give the name, Pat? It's code now. You talk to enough black people to know this is code.
You may know who you're talking. Does he have a YouTube channel with like 3 million subscribers or something, or no?
Oh, no. He's on like 100-something thousand.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
I'm
sure if he sees this, he'll know who it is and he'll react to it. But you're open to debating anybody.
I'm open, yeah.
Okay, so if we set up anything with anyone else that's maybe expert in the area of topic that you're okay.
Yeah, instigated, Pat. We need that.
Channel like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the devil. Who is the devil in your eyes? Is he also an alien, or is it not a real person, not a real spirit? Who is the devil?
Let me tell you what happened. So you go again into the ancient tablets, you discover that, and Yahweh, who's in the Bible, is known as God, right? Yahweh is known in the ancient text as Satan, the Lord of Eden, Edin. The land between the Euphrates and the Tigris rivers is where they had the Eden, Edin. And when he has his outdoor laboratories, what I like to call it, where they discovered that mating these people together would work if they had enough genetic diversity. So what happens is his brother Enki, who's now known as Satan, he comes in and he starts talking to the people there, and he starts telling them
Nigga, whoa,
where they discovered that mating.
Hold on.
Tan, the Lord of Eden, Edin. The land between the Euphrates and the Tigris rivers is where they had the Eden, Edin. And when he has his outdoor laboratories, what I like to call it, where they discovered that mating these people together would work if they had enough genetic diversity. So what happens is his brother Enki, who's now known as Satan, he comes in and he starts talking to the people there. And he starts telling them, it wasn't just Adam and Eve he was talking to, there were other people there. And he was telling them how powerful they really were, and that the mysteries of the universe was inside of their body, and that they had
in the Hebrew Bible, Yahweh, God, is a superior being to the figure known as Hasatan, the Satan. Hasatan first appears as a heavenly prosecutor who tests the loyalty of Yahweh's followers and prosecutes the nation of Judah in the heavenly court. However, during the intertestamental period, Hasatan evolved into a malevolent entity that is the opposition of God, a malevolent entity. In the apocryphal book of Jubilees, Yahweh gives Satan, referred to as Mestama, the authority to tempt humans to sin and punish them by controlling a group of fallen angels or their offspring. Yeah, so you see why I'm doing YouTube.
To ascend even to a higher level than even them. And so these people then realized that they weren't animals. They clothed themselves. And by the time this Yahweh character, also known as Enlil, comes back, Satan, he realizes, who's now known as Satan, he comes in and he starts talking to the people there. And he starts telling them, it wasn't just Adam and Eve he was talking to. There were other people there. And he was telling them how powerful they really were.
Hold on, bro.
Text as Satan, the Lord of Eden, Edin. The land between the Euphrates and the Tigris rivers is where they had the Eden, Edin. And when he has his outdoor laboratories, what I like to call it, where they discovered that mating these people together would work if they had enough genetic diversity. So what happens is his brother Enki, who's now known as Satan, he comes in and he starts talking to the people there. And he starts telling them, it wasn't just Adam and Eve he was talking to. There were other people there. And he was telling them how powerful they really were, and that the mysteries of the universe was inside of their body, and that they had the ability to ascend even to a higher level than even them. And so these people then realized that they weren't animals. They clothed themselves. And by the time this Yahweh character, also known as Enlil, comes back, Satan, he realizes what's happened, that his brother has given them the apple. What's the apple? Knowledge. And so he gets pissed.
I've been said that. You can ask my parents.
Off. And he curses his brother, and he tells them, never listen to him again. He's evil. He's the devil. He wants to hurt you. That's where this whole devil thing pops up from. It comes from the Sumerian tablets, okay? That's where it comes from. It comes from the Sumerian tablets. Enki and Enlil, two brothers fighting each other because one brother didn't like what the other brother was doing to people.
So what is your interpretation of people who go and, go to conferences and they look up to the devil and evil and, there's a religion, right? What is?
All right, man, I got to go to an appointment, bro. I'm gonna get up with y'all in the next part 3. I don't know how many parts it's going to be. I'm probably going to follow through on one of the videos, but I got to get my watch time for today, bro. So we cranking them for the one time. Shout out to Primetime Hitler. Thank y'all for watching, man. Make sure y'all comment, subscribe on my video, like the video, and I'm going to see y'all on the next one.